Hey, what's up, guys? So, my first YouTube video, I want to discuss UFC 267. It's going to be a monster. Obviously, we got Blachowicz fighting against Glover Teixeira. Now we got Petr Yan fighting Cory Sandhagen, which I'm going to spend a lot of time on, and also Islam Makhachev and who he ultimately faces inside the octagon. Now, to get here, we got to go back to the beginning. Obviously, Petr Yan fought Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain won the title by disqualification. Rematch is scheduled. Aljo had neck surgery. And for people who said he had the surgery in order to not fight Petr again, I can tell you fact, like absolute fact. Spending time with Aljamain Sterling, talking to him, seeing his desire to fight Petr Yan again has never been in question. The dude wants to fight Petr Yan. He understands that he was losing the fight and that Petr seemed to be, in just about everybody's eyes, on his way to a clear-cut decision, if not a finish, as Aljo was starting to fatigue. He wanted to fight him again. He wanted to fight him so bad that he scheduled the fight even before he was healthy enough to fight. Now, I'm talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and he made a great point. And it was that Aljo took the fight and was willing to go and fight, even a bit injured. I can speak from experience. When you do things for the UFC, they're very appreciative and they treat you in that regard. One of the things I think Aljo gained by taking the fight with every intention to fight was some leniency in regards to how he is viewed going forward. Not only from his colleagues and the people, the fighters, the other fighters, but from the UFC. I say this because he took this fight, started to train, wasn't healthy. He didn't pull out, didn't get cleared by the UFC's doctor to fight. So how, as an organization, do you penalize a guy that was willing to go out there and do his thing? So now you see an interim title. I truly believe that if Aljamain Sterling just said, I ain't going to fight, he may have been stripped because of the circumstances under which he won the title. Aljo's a nice guy. He's a fun guy to be around. He's honestly very easy to work with. I've worked the desk with him. But by taking that fight, I think he gave himself a little bit of good favor with the company because he didn't pull out. He just isn't capable of competing. And trust me, he wants to compete. So now we find ourselves here. Petr Yan rightfully fighting for a portion of the UFC championship. Because anybody with two eyes can see that he was about to win that fight against Cory Sandhagen. I mean, it could not be any better. I knew this on Saturday, right? I text Sean Shelby in the morning. I go, Sean, please tell me it's going to be Sandhagen. Please tell me it's going to be Sandhagen. And about 10 minutes passes and I get a text back, oh, it's Sandhagen. Right, it was Cory. And we had to sit on this during the broadcast when in reality the whole time you're like jittery thinking about a fight between Petr Yan and Cory Sandhagen. Because it is truly one of those fights that can blow the roof off of any building that you compete in. Because in Petr Yan, you have one of the most, he's like meticulous in his approach. And he can break you down. We saw him break down Jose Aldo. The fight was competitive early. But as it went long, you saw Petr just continue to build and extend the lead on the great champion Jose Aldo. And even in the Aljo fight, Aljo's on him. Aljo's going forward. Aljo's trying to get after him and try to fatigue him. Petr just stays in the fight. And as the fight goes longer, you saw him start to break him down to the point that I thought Aljamain was going to get finished. Massive mistake by the former champion to knee him on the ground. But outside of that, Petr Yan has not made mistakes. I mean, he's stone-faced killer. He's an absolute assassin. And he gets to fight Cory Sandhagen. Look, when I was doing DC and Helwani, Ariel was so sure that at some point Cory Sandhagen would be the UFC champion. He said it publicly. He doesn't believe that people will be able to hold him off for as long as his career goes. But after losing to TJ Dillashaw in a razor close fight, you thought maybe it would take some time. Cory said, all I want is to be one fight away. Guess what, my friend? You're not even one fight away. He gets the title fight right now against Petr Yan. And if he can win this fight, this puts him in a great position to get a rematch against Aljamain Sterling, who submitted him very early in their fight. The bantamweight division is going crazy right now. And if TJ Dillashaw isn't fighting for the belt against Petr, I think this is option 1A. Because for Aljo, the champion right now, we've seen him in Petr fight. And you feel like you may have an idea of how the fight was going to play out unless Aljo made wholesale changes to the way he approaches the next fight against Petr Yan. And now he has time to not only get healthy, but to do that. Because Petr fights in October, late October. That means that he'll need some time to get ready to go again. And in that time, Aljo can get healthy, but also start to work up here and game plan with his great coaches out of Serra-Longo and with Eric Nitzik out at Extreme Couture to try and build a game plan to attack a guy that has a great style for you. Bantamweight division is going nuts. You see Sean O'Malley calling out Dominic Cruz. Dom's matched up. I cannot wait for you guys to know who Dom is matched up with. It's going to excite you. And when is Sean O'Malley going to get that fight that people go in wondering if he's going to get beat? I don't disagree with O'Malley's approach, but I do feel like at some point he's got to give the fans and the people that support him what they want, a fight against a person that's higher ranked than him, a fight that it seems as though he's going to get challenged. The only time we saw that was Chito, and not many thought Chito could win. The ones on the inside did, and Chito Vera actually got the victory. Which leads us to my friend Islam Makhachev. Makhachev, however you want to say it. Islam Makhachev is now without an opponent again because RDA is out. Rafael dos Anjos is not afraid. Let's get that out there right now. Rafael dos Anjos is not afraid of Islam Makhachev. He's not. He's absolutely not. He's hurt. If he pulls out, he's hurt. But now it's, who does Islam fight next? I think there's some names out there. I thought Dan Hooker looked as good as he's ever looked last weekend against the kid from Canada. I can't remember his name right now. I thought he looked fantastic. I think Hooker's a player. And I think Hooker is the type of fight that Islam has not really seen since he lost way back in the day to Adriano Martins. He has not seen a guy that has that level of striking out there. Now, he's beaten some good guys. People talk about Drew Dober, how good he is. Drew Dober's tough. Drew Dober's really good. But Drew Dober is not Dan Hooker. We saw Islam beat the jiu-jitsu kid last time. That's a jiu-jitsu guy. Islam always beats those guys. There will not be a guy that will be able to out-grapple him and set up submissions against Islam Makhachev or Makhachev. I really don't care how you guys say it. I call him Islam Makhachev. That's what we call him in the gym. That's what we call him as friends, and he has no problem with it. But if Dan Hooker is available, and Dan Hooker looked as good as he did last weekend, I don't see why, if possible, he doesn't go to Abu Dhabi and fight Islam Makhachev right now. That's the fight. I think that's the fight. I see people saying stuff about Gregor Gillespie. Sure, that would be fantastic too to see Islam compete against someone with the wrestling ability of Gillespie and the toughness of Gillespie. But for Hooker, who has championship aspirations still, as he should, and showing improvements as he did last weekend, I would be jumping at the opportunity to fight Islam Makhachev in Abu Dhabi. It would be fantastic. And I think for Islam, this is a good fight for him too. A great matchup and a chance for him to beat a guy who has momentum as he tries to continue to move his way up towards a title fight. For me, I think it's an eventuality that Islam Makhachev will be the UFC champion. It's just about getting the opportunities. And I believe there's an opportunity down in Abu Dhabi. Who's going to be the person to step up and take it? Guess we'll see.